film it as well. So standing in the middle of your mat. Just place your hands sort of on your lower abdomen, okay, so you can just start to sort of notice and feel some of the muscles. So bend the knees, scrunch up the toes, lift up the arches, tuck the pelvis under. Then find that pelvic floor and pull in. Pull in 100%, take the TVA in as well. So really going for a squeeze here, and then get that nice lift. Keep squeezing, then lift up your rib cage, take your shoulders back. Then take a slow release, keep the shoulders back. And again, pelvic floor, TVA, really pulling up and squeeze. Now check you're not holding your breath, okay? So tempting there to hold the breath. Take a slow release. And again, pelvic floor, really pulling that in and up. Really think about tucking, really squeezing glutes, tucking the pelvis in with that one as well. Now TVA, scrunching up those toes, draw up the arches, rib cage lift. Don't forget to breathe, Mario. Watching. I'm going to watch these screens a little bit more tonight. Take a slow release. Halfway into 50%. Pelvic floor's engaged, TVA's engaged. I actually feel like I haven't used my pelvic floor all week. Lift that arm up level with the shoulder. Ear down to shoulder. Feel the release in the neck. Then reaching out to the sides. Get this squeeze, this pinch down the side. Lifting up to center. Reach up to the sky. Take it all the way over, hand on hip if you want a bit of support there. Still working pelvic floor TVA. Hips are still, we haven't shifted those hips on that one. Release the bottom arm. A little bit of a circle, like you're just stirring a pot here. Homemade marmalade, there we go. All the way around. And then come out and release. We're going to go to the other side, so lift. Still pulling in pelvic floor TVA, ear down to shoulder, take your time on that one. Feel the release in the neck. Then reach it out to the side, keep the hips still, scrunch up those toes. Feel the squeeze, the pinch, then reaching up towards the ceiling. Still pulling in TVA pelvic floor, take it over. Nice and slow on that side bend, hand on hip. Really send the breath now into the side. Big deep breath in. Nice big exhales. Release that bottom arm, take those circles. Love the smell of marmalade when that's cooking. I made some at the weekend. Slowly release. Okay, we're going to do one more on each side, a little bit faster. Lift, ear down to shoulder, and reach. Check pelvic floors in. Arm up towards the ceiling. Take it over into your spirals. If you want a little bit more, take the eye gaze up towards the ceiling or sky. Check you're not holding your breath. And then release. One more, other side, lift. Ear down to shoulder. And reach. Really press down into these feet. Recenter it. Take that arm up towards the sky. Take it over. Circle. Spiral heart towards the ceiling or the sky. Eye gaze up. Check you're not holding that breath. Still thinking about the pelvic floor. And release, coming back up to center. Elbows in, just roll the shoulders down and back. Scapula set. Check your elbows are in line with the sides of the body. Spread out those fingers and really like kind of stretch the fingers out, right? Then breathing out, thumbs drawing backwards. Feel that squeeze on the shoulder blades and then recenter it. So quite nice if you've got walls around to do it against the wall, because if you go against a wall, you can feel the lower back peeling off the wall when you do it, right? So if you really think about what's happening, we're trying to work on shoulders and scapula, just isolate scapula. Try and keep your back, your lower back on that wall. Otherwise, oh, there's a cobweb. That'll teach me for that one, won't it? Otherwise, really think about concentrating on scapula, shoulders, Keeping the back still. 2 more. Breathing out. Recenter, and again. So it's been a few weeks that I've done this next one. It's the Kundalini breathing. So first of all, interlink your fingers, and then ladies put the left thumb in front, and then put the right thumb, okay? So we go like a wood chopping action, arms up, arms down. Breathe in, breathe out. So you can be kind of forceful, breathing out. So, and I want you to do this through your nose. Breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your nose. In through your nose, out through your nose. Okay, this is kind of energizing. Thinking about getting rid of like negative energy. Almost like this idea of chopping it up. And also it's really great for the kind of shoulders and posture, just getting our arms up around our ears, right? Now focus as your arms go up. You're still pulling in pelvic floor, pulling in core. Tucking in pelvis as well. Okay, you're not arching the lower back. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. In and out. You can be as forceful as you like in this, okay? 3 more. In Kundalini Yoga, they actually do this for like 4 minutes, but I'm not going to do that to you. We're just doing like a little intro for it, okay? Then make your fists, okay? So still kind of working with energy, fists. Punch them both out forwards. Turn the fists up, draw the elbows in. Punch, and then bring that back in. Again, so really plant your feet here, soften the knees, tuck the pelvis under, pull in your pelvic floor, pull in TVA. And when I'm going with your fist, keep it going, you get the tension then in your arms, right? So we're thinking like, you know, like your bicep curls and all sorts of things like that. Kind of works with all those kind of things. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose, okay? So it's like a breathing exercise. Breathe out through the nose forcefully as well, okay? Kind of really, so it's another cleansing kind of move. They say it can destroy like diseases in the body and things like that, right? Try and keep the shoulders down and back. Maybe you're feeling that, I feel the tension there in my forearms, right? So maybe arms are getting tired. 4 more. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. So then we're just going to, what we call the cleanse the air. So turn the palms towards me, then draw a big circle all the way around the body, up towards the sky, palms together, looking up if you want, then press the air all the way down. So we've just kind of cleansed all the breath and the air that's gone into the body. And this is just kind of creating this bit of space around the body. 2 more. Breathing in, lifting up, baby back bend there if you want to. Breathing out, coming down. Still engaging pelvic floor, TVA. Should feel pretty fresh after that, like should feel like you've got a bit of energy there, right? So you could do that one in the office. I'm sure everyone would love it. If you work with other people, you start chopping their desks up. Okay, so I did, last time I was with you, I did some standing Pilates moves, so we're going to work with that a little bit more. So we're going to go chin to chest, slide the hands down the fronts of the legs. Wherever you feel comfortable, you might want to just go to your knees there, or you might want to slowly go down towards the floor. Wherever you get to, take a moment there, find a flat back. So lift up the chest, draw the shoulders back. Crown of head is going to go forwards, not down. Then come down to wherever you were and then slide it back up. So if we were sitting down doing this, it would be the one where you put your legs straight and then we're going to go again. Chin down to chest, slide it down. Then find your flat back. So this is kind of good for posture. It's a lower back exercise too. Then lower it down. Then uncurl. Yes, if we were sitting down, this would be like your hamstring stretching, legs straight, sliding forwards. But yeah, in Pilates they call it the spine stretch, but I sometimes think approaching it from the standing position, because you've got gravity helping you go down, you get a little bit further in it. So last one, chin to chest. Really here, tucking tummies in, coming down. Finding that flat back, that little lift in the middle. Then lower it back down. Then uncurl. Take the legs wide then, and we're going to go for the saw. So bring the arms out to the sides, shoulder height. Draw in pelvic floor, draw in that TVA. This is where you go twist, breathing out. Breathing in to reset, breathing out. Opposite foot, drive that hand down towards the opposite foot. Slide it back up into that twist. Again, we've got that gravity kind of like helping us go down. Take your time because this is hamstring stretching. Recenter, breathe out, twist. Breathe in, almost get tall, and then breathing out, slide it down. Then uncurl. So there's almost 3 breaths each time. So Pilates, we breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, so slightly different to the Kundalini Yoga breath exercise. Should feel those hamstrings getting a nice little release, maybe a little bit lower back too. Two more. Just keep going, last one. I just read Joe's thing. There's a lot of people, I shouldn't say that out loud for Joe. A lot of people in the office that Joe would like to chop. From that earlier comment. Okay, standing then. So one knee left, so we're working with balance. So scrunch at the toes, lift at the arch, squeeze the glute, pull in pelvic floor TVA. So we're going to lift. Then that little crunch, so little opposite elbow to knee. Doesn't have to go in for a touch. Release, and then we're going to go out to the side. Okay? So it's lift, knee towards, and we're going to go elbow down towards knee, and then lift as hard as net, left. Okay? If you've got it, you want more. It's 1 and 2 and 3, so we're adding a little bit more dynamic movement, and 4, woo, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so pulsing. So it's a bit like if we're lying down, we're on a crisscross. But obviously, standing up, we've got all the balance work. So really working with TVA, pelvic floor, then pulse to the side. Try and keep the hips facing the front. Last time, so just 3 on each way. 3 sets, hang on there. 4 in a set. And out. Hips facing forwards. What's your foot doing there? So is your foot turning out, or is your foot facing forwards? Keep that foot facing forwards. Release, and we're going to go to the other side. It's quite hard this, isn't it? We're kind of putting Pilates into balance work. So same thing, so just that lift on the knee. Squeezing the glute, pulling pelvic floor TVA. Then I bring in a little bit of a twist, see if the elbow comes down and towards. If you're ready to go in, it's 4 and 3. Scrunching up those toes, lift up the arch underneath that foot. Think about pressing that foot down into the mat. Into your side leg lifts. 3 and 4. Whoa. Up. Think about the top end of that, so the elbow kind of drive, you can always bring the elbow and drive it to the side, almost slightly back, and then you get a nice little stretch in the chest. All the time, think TVA there. Pulse to the side. Feeling this? I've got this in my glute med. Woo. Last one. Elbow in and round. Scrunching up those toes. Think about opening the chest at the top. Drag that elbow back. Nice. And lift. 3. And 2. And 1. Okay, that was kind of hard. I think watching everyone there go, woo. Okay, gonna go for some squats. So bend the knees, reach the hands forwards. This is kind of a nice release after what we've just done. Really stick your hips back into space. Squeeze the glutes, lift. Coming down. Check in your squats so you're not arching the lower back. So just check your pelvis gets tucked under. Okay, I'm going to give you some little versions here on your squats if you want to take them. So if you've got a step nearby, or stairs, and you can just about hear me, I'm going to see if you can do your single leg over your step. Okay? So your single leg over your step. So if you need to go to step, yeah, you can try and see if you can hear me, and do 10 on the left and then 10 on the right. Okay? Single leg squat, and all you're doing is dipping your heel down towards the floor. Can you see me okay on that one? Yeah. Otherwise, you can do that in front of you, like totally fine. But I tell you what the step does. It gives you this really nice kind of point to work towards. So it's actually quite a nice way of doing it. Otherwise, you can just do your normal foot in front. But I do like the step motion if you've got it. So think here about scrunching up the toes. Lift the arch up off the floor. And think about the knee here. So we don't want the knee kind of turning in or turning out too much, wobbling. If you're ready, you're going to swap over. Onto the other side. Pelvic floor's in, you're squeezing that glute. Kind of good to work with a single leg. Then we're going to go back to doubles. A couple more. Coming back towards the room if you went out to your step. Just taking four doubles now. So see how that feels after going on your singles. Hips back into space. Squeezing the glutes. Keep those knees in line. Just going over the big toes. Last one. And coming out. Calf raise now. So I've got another challenge to put in here. So just first of all, transfer the weight onto one foot. Put in pelvic floor, squeezing the glute then. Press into that foot, lifting up the heel. But you really must make sure that pelvic floor is engaged and lower. Lift. And lower. And left. Adding in if you want then. So we're going to go 4 calf raises like we've just done. And then you can go into an arabesque. Okay, so reach the back foot. Reach the hands forwards, back foot back. Then try a calf raise from there. Okay, so really have to work at spreading the toes and going up onto the ball of the foot. Kind of a lot going on when you have to do that, right? Because you're taking the weight over it. Then go back to your standard. 4 and 3. You can always hold on to the wall, right? 2, 1. Arabesque it if you want to take the progression. 4, 3. We're not going for really high, we're going for engagement. 2, 1. Back to your standard last time. Probably feeling it now in those calf muscles, right? 3. I'll make mountain runners of you yet. Reach the hands forwards last time. 4, 3. Keep working with the pelvic floor. 2 and 1. Release. Other side then, okay. Start with your standard, so just get your weight over onto that foot. Pull in pelvic floor, squeeze the glutes. Tell the brain you're going to do a calf raise. Lift and lower. And lift and lower. Try and keep those shoulders relaxed. And lower. Lift and lower. Now if you're going to progress, drive that back foot back, arms going forwards, arabesque, then lift and lower. It's not really about the height there. It's about connections. The foot to the glutes, to the pelvic floor, to the brain. Back to the standard one, ready, lift and lower. Woo. I don't know if you're finding one side is tighter or more tired than the other. Arabesque if you're progressing. Lift and lower. And lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift. Lower. Last time then, okay, last one. Standard, lift, lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Last time, arabesque, 4 left, lift, lower, lift, and lower. 2 more. Lift, lower. Try not to let the heel move or shake, and lower. Ah, bit of a shake out there. Okay, brilliant. If we all meet down in downward dog and just pedal out your dogs, walk your dogs, and we'll move on to mat from there. So just get your stretching here on your backs of your legs, your calf muscles. Send the hips up towards the ceiling. Spread the fingers. Think about sending the chest towards the thighs. Spiral the biceps together so you're getting that stretch on the shoulders. Try not to hold the breath. Lifting up those hips. Stretching out those calf muscles. Just 4 more pedal downs. Coming down then onto all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Little combo here again, so we're going to go right arm, low handshake, left leg, stretching out. Nice and simple. Lower it down and lift for 4. Lower down and lift 3. Keep the hips still, pull in TVA, pull in pelvic floor. And then lift, let's hold. Now go out to the corners of the mat. Out to the corners with the hand, with the foot. Recenter, lift up that resting foot so we're on a balance. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Same thing on the other side. Low handshake on the left, lift up the right leg. Squeezing that right glute. Check you're there in neutral spine, not arching the lower back, pulling in the TVA, that pelvic floor. Think about extension here and length. Ready to lower. And lift for 4. And 3. Squeezing that glute. And 2. And 1. Take it to the corners of the mat. Nice and slow. Then bring it back to center. Lift up that foot. Ready for 4. Take the eye gaze to the front of the mat. For 3. And for 2. Keep squeezing that glute. And for 1. And release. Brilliant. Okay, we're going to come back to working some more glutes in a minute. So I'm going to bring this down. And we're going to swan dive. And I can really feel it where I haven't swan dived for a week. So, well, for 2 weeks really, right? So cactus the arms. Hands level with your elbows. Elbows level with shoulders. Forehead down. Breathing out. Lift head, shoulders looking down. Use the top of the spine here and then lower it down. Breathing out. Breathing in lower. Take the connection with the pelvic floor as well. So check here, you're just drawing in pelvic floor. your legs and your feet are relaxed, but you can actually just feel the mat or I've got concrete, right? So just feel whatever's there at the end of your mat with the front of the tops of your feet. Just keep a little connection with it. Adding in, if you want, then lifting up the arms as well, so draw up that cactus. And I want you to see if you can get to the same height that you did just on the lifts and lower. Breathing out, lift. Breathing in, lower. And then breathing out, lift. Keep focusing on the pelvic floor. Then lift, and then extend and reach the arms forwards. And then bring it back to your cactus, lower it down. And again, lift. Think about the crown of your head really shining forwards. Back to cactus. And down. Still keep that connection with the tops of the feet. If you want like a bit of a challenge, just kind of work a little bit harder. Press in with the tops of the feet. Lift up the kneecaps off the mat. So keep working with pelvic floor. Kneecaps are lifted. And then work into your extensions. A little bit more intense just with that little bit added in. 2 more. And reach. And lower. Just place your head here on your hands. And again, I just wanted to go back to those glute activations, those leg lifts. So squeeze the left glute and lift up the left leg nice and straight. Try and keep the hips still here. Lower it down over to the right. Squeeze the right glute, lifting up the right leg. Lowering it down. Pelvic floor TVA start to engage. Swap it over again, lift. And lower. Switch and lift. And lower. Now adding in if you want to here. So you've got your alternating leg lifts. If you want a little bit more, lift. And then lift to a double leg lift. And then lower. Lift, lift, and lower. So then we're taking it into a lower back exercise. Lift, and lower. And that can be too intense for some on the lower back, so just see how you feel. Adding in again then, take the arms down by your sides, palms up. Breathing out. Lift the head and shoulders, twist around the wrists and squeeze the shoulder blades together now. Now lift, lift and hold. Keep breathing. I'm assuming just holding this position, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Double leg hold if you can. If it's too much, just take it to 1 leg hold. For 4 more breaths. Breathing in for 5 and breathing out for 5. Keep squeezing those shoulder blades together. 1 more breath. Lowering down the legs, bring the arms back to the front. Press into the mat. We're releasing a cat stretch. So lift the top of the back up towards the ceiling, tuck the tummy in. Get the stretch on the tops of the shoulders. Chin to chest, look back towards your knees. And really send the breath here, like high up in the chest, so you really get the breath going between the shoulder blades. So from there, we're going to go to some front leg planking. And I missed these. I could definitely feel like I missed these last week. Elbows under shoulders. Pelvic floor and TVA in. Lifting up the hips. Knees down is your option. If you want a little bit more, straighten the legs. When you straighten legs, you can think about pressing back towards your heels there. So have your toes underneath your heels. We're going to go for 3 of these. I'm going to do 30 seconds on each. So the first one, if you want to add in, you could knee drop down and lift. So if you're on knees down, it's straighten and then drop. And it's straighten and then drop. Try and keep the hips still as you do this. Keep working pelvic floor, TVA. If you're on the straighten, it's drop and then it's lift. Don't forget to breathe. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees down, have a little rest. Whew. Ready to go again. So pelvic floor in, TVA, and lifting up. Keep the shoulders down away from ears. So this time the variation is going to be leg lift and lower. Leg lift, not like a high lift, just level with your hips and lower. Hips are still, leg lift and lower. So you can do that from your plank position. Push back through your heels, TVA in, leg lift and lower. Leg lift and lower. Check you're squeezing those glutes. Lift and lower. We're not holding the breath. 30 seconds is quite a while to hold your breath. Lift and lower and lower. So if you're on the knees down, it's just lift and lower and lift and lower. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it all the way down. 10 seconds rest. So maybe you're feeling a little bit tension there in the shoulders or down to the elbows. So the next one is we're going to work with a little bit more on upper body. Get that release. So pelvic floor in, TVA and lift. Option there, knees down. One hand pressing into your high plank, and then we're going to lower it straight back down. So elbows down under shoulders, or hands going underneath shoulders. And you get that really nice kind of tilt side to side. You get your obliques working on the sides and your abs. Lift, and then lower. Progress it. Straighten the legs. Push back to the heels. You've got your high plank. So think about your plank position here. Try and get a nice straight line down the body. So think about your eye gaze, right? And your head. We don't want the head dropping down. Try and keep the head in line with the body. That crown of the head shining forwards. This is hard, right? This is your upper body work. But what I've realized recently is I've been working a little bit harder on my upper body, and I think before my upper body wasn't as strong as my lower body, and now I've got them balanced. Something shifted, right? Like I feel better about that. So I think don't disregard the arms and the shoulders. They're just as important as the legs. Two more lifts. Last one, lower it down. Drop the knees down, sit back towards the heels, but find a child's pose. Whichever way is comfortable. You don't have to take your bum all the way down to heels, just however's comfortable, particularly for your knees. And then you can either reach your arms forwards, or if you prefer, arms down by your sides, your shoulders get a bit of a relax. See if you can get your forehead on the mat. And take some really big belly breaths here, right down to the lower back. Is that breathing in for 5? Breathing out for 5. Two more breaths. Okay, so from here on our sides. Okay. Then I've got a little bit of a different one on this one. You need a little bit of space either side of the mat. Lie on your side and then place one hand on top of the other hand. If you want a cushion under your head for your neck, that's fine, grab a cushion. And this is a really super slow chest stretch. And all you're going to do is slide the hand that's on the top over the arm. Take it all the way across the body and see if you can get your elbow down. And sometimes you can't do that on the first time. Then open it out to your sort of T shape. And then slowly slide it all the way back along. So it's kind of nice for the neck as well. This is a really kind of gentle way of working into the chest. Sliding, breathing out. Opening there, try and get that elbow down. And then bring it back. Just going to go for one more of these. So really super slow slide. Take the eye gaze up towards the ceiling, opening up that chest, try and get the elbow down. And then bringing it back down. Okay. Lying on the side then, we're just going to lift ourselves up. So bring the elbow in on this to lift up the side of your head. Legs are straight. Pull in pelvic floor, pull in TBA. Lift top leg, lift bottom leg, hover. Lift rib cage. Then we're going to pulse. So top leg lift. So like normally I do a little bit of this and that, you can if you want. But by moving the top leg, you might find that your balance gets worked a little bit harder. So keep the tension drawing down through the bottom leg, right? But we're just pulsing in the top. Then think about the rib cage. Keep that rib cage lifted. Keep working with the pelvic floor and that TBA. Then maybe try and circle that top leg. Does that make it more tricky? It's a little bit more challenging on the balance. Small circles, size of a orange. Other way around. Almost like a one-leg circle here, but keep that rib cage lifted. Keep the focus there on the core, the pelvic floor, the TBA. Keep that bottom leg lifted. 3, and 2, and 1. Lower it down, hug that knee into the chest. Same side then, I'm going to side plank it, then we're going to switch it over. Elbow underneath shoulder. Start with knees bent, or we can, we'll build into that. So lifting up the hips. You can straighten top leg. Again, this is upper body strength, so we're working laterally on the shoulder. If you want to progress it more, both legs straight. See if we can get our elbow up to the ceiling. Then a little bit more work into the chest. Really small circles here with the elbow. So I'm talking like Satsuma circles here. Not the Seville oranges. So maybe you've got that bottom knee down as well. That's the other option. Really small circles like that. The kind of tiny muscles, chest and shoulder getting worked all the way around. Just drawing Satsumas on the ceiling. Don't forget to breathe. And release, lower it down, and then we're going to switch sides. So we start with the really slow chest moves. So this is kind of the nice bit, right? This is the relaxing bit. One hand on the other hand, head relax, neck relax. Slowly slide. Elbow goes up to the ceiling, then see if you can get that elbow down onto the floor. And without, I can see my knees lifting on the top of that. See if you can do it by keeping the legs still, and the hips still. So really thinking slowly, breathing out into that chest, opening out. Almost everything we do in modern life closes the chest, closes the heart. All these computers and telephones, they all kind of send us down and forwards. So just take a moment to really work at opening out the chest. Last one, coming back, straightening the legs. Lifting up the head slightly, bend the elbow, pelvic floor TBA engaged, lift the top leg, lift the bottom leg. Then get that rib cage lifted. You're on the balance. You can always help yourself, put your hand down if you need to. Then it's that pulse, top leg lift and top leg lower. Just small little lifts and lowers. Like really think here about the core being still as this movement's going on in the leg. Try not to look down towards your legs. Keep thinking pelvic floor, TBA. So it's kind of a nice kind of glute med. Oh, somebody's trying to get in. Keep going. A nice glute med move. Hi Charlotte, I hope you're okay. I just saw that you dropped out and then came back in, right? We're on the other side. Okay, ready to circle then. Small circles the size of the orange. I'm very much on the marmalade theme tonight. Keep the control. So, you know, like when we do the one leg circle lying on our backs and I give you the focus to focus on the resting knee, well, like notice what's happening with the bottom leg as you do these circles. Is it kind of wanting to shift and move? So think about these circles the other way around. Maybe you're feeling this in your hips now, glute med. Still work with the pelvic floor, the TVA. Is that rib cage still lifted? Lowering it all down. Hug, well, you can hug that knee into the chest if you need to give it a little stretch. Then we went up to that side plank. So elbow underneath shoulder and lift. So this is very much kind of oblique, TVA, pelvic floor. Straight legs if you want that progression. Elbow, bend at the elbow, elbow going up towards the ceiling. And then we went to that Satsuma. So these small circles just for the shoulder really here. Try not to look down towards the feet. Just those small circles. I don't think you can make marmalade out of Satsumas though, so I've kind of slightly gone off theme. But I guess they're still orange. And they're still citrus. Same sort of family. Other way around. Maybe you've got your knee down, you're in that version. Keep thinking about keeping those hips nice and high. TVA, pelvic floor engaged. Try not to let the head drop down, so keep the head in line with the body. 4, 3, and 2, and 1, lowering it down. Okay, we're going to go on our backs now. Before it gets dark, I think the sun's going down here. I'm going to have to get my fairy lights sorted out. Take a little pelvic tilt, neutral spine. Shoulders are relaxed. Find the length at the back of the neck. If you need to get a little pillow, if I tell you why, if your chin's going up to the ceiling, all you need to do is put a little pillow here to keep that length at the back of the neck. Okay. So pelvic floor in, TVA in. It's 4 toe taps, 8 pulses, and then an 8-second hold. I'm going to do that the first set all in beginner's layer. So feet, knees, hip width apart. Keep that right angle behind the knee. Lift to tabletop and lower. That's 4. And 3. Try and keep these hips still. And 2. And 1. Lift the head, lift the shoulders, pulsing these arms. We don't want floppy wrists, so keep the tension here, all the way down the forearms. 8, 7, 6. Think about imprinting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slide the hands up towards the knees. See if we can get 5 centimeters more. Like a clementine. More. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Oh, I missed this last week. Okay, let's go again. Tabletops if you're with me. Otherwise stay in that first layer. Think about imprinting here, so really go TVA pelvic floor. 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Lift and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straightening legs, reach. 8, 7, 6, 5. Breathe. 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. That was a quick one. And again then, 4 toe taps. Take these toes right to the bottom of the mat. 3. Keep imprinting. 2. And 1. Lift and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5. Imprint. 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs, reach. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. 2 more left. 4 toe taps. 4, 3. Breathing out. 2, and 1. Pulling up pelvic floor. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs and reach. 8, 7, 6. Ribs to hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Last set. Okay, and breathe. 4, and 3. Find that pelvic floor. 2, and 1. Imprint. Lift and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the legs and reach. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Arms over the head. Straightening out the legs. Scrunch up the wrists. Scrunch up your face. Press the backs of the knees into the mat. Point your toes. Squeeze the glutes. Pull your tummies in. Take a big deep breath in. Breathing out, just letting go of all of that tension. You can cactus down your arms. Turn your feet out. Let the hips relax. Whew. Bending the knees. Nice and slow then. Place your hands on your hips. Keep your hips still. Heel slide one heel away and then recenter it. Knees, feet hip width apart. Heel slide and then recenter. Even notice what's happening with your shoulders with that. Like as you heel slide, is one shoulder kind of slipping up off the mat or anything like that? So see if you can really relax shoulders and chest. Breathing out, slide. When you've got your hips still and you want to progress, a little bit harder for the core, imprint, tabletop. Sliding one heel away in tabletop, recenter. And slide, recenter. Breathing out. Arms going up towards the ceiling. And we're going to take the outside hand down to the foot, the inside to the knee. Recenter. Inside to the knee, outside to the foot. Recenter. And like you can literally do that kind of as well, like with the other knee down. So you don't have to tabletop that. If it's feeling a little bit too tricky in tabletop, you can't get the imprint right. And all we're doing is almost going like this little diagonal. It's almost like you want to hug the knee, but then you're not going to. You're going to hug the space next to it. Four more. Dipping that shoulder down. We've still got that pelvic floor engaged. Arms up to the ceiling then, feet down. Press the back of the head into the mat then. Turn the thumbs inside, palms out. Lift the shoulders up off the mat. Turn them back around, press them down. And then again, turn. But at the same time, we're pressing the back of the head into the mat. You can still think about the imprint and the pelvic floor with that. Nice little way to release those shoulders. after stirring all the marmalade. Adding in, then take the lift out. Take your little fingers over your head and try and keep that chest down as you do that one. Circle the arms around the body, back to center. So twist, then take the little fingers down. Try and keep that rib cage down. So that's rectus abdominis, it's the higher part of the abdominals that does that work. Keep the rib cage down, circle it around. So you should find the pelvic floor engaged, TVA pulled in, and then keeping that rib cage down, the rectus abdominis engaging. Adding in if you want then, tabletop it, imprint. As the arms come over the head, straightening out both those legs for your double leg stretch, circling it all the way around. Let's breathe out for 5. Breathing in for 5, take a moment in center. Breathing out for 5. Breathing in for 5. Keep working with that imprint, try not to let the lower back lift too much. 2 more. Great. Do a little check on the time. Okay. Coming to center then, we're just going to take a hamstring stretch. So one leg up towards the ceiling. See what you can hold on to, maybe behind the hamstring or maybe higher, but just try not to compromise the posture that we've done on the neck and the shoulders. So if your chin's going up like this to the ceiling, again, just grab a cushion or even roll the mat here. Just because then otherwise you lose that length we've created, like in your swan dive and all these other ones. Ankle circle if you want, just have a little stretch on the feet. Push away the back of the knee. I've been very naughty. I haven't actually stretched my hamstrings for about a week. Tut tut. Then take the glute stretch. So place that foot across so the knee turns out to the side. That foot goes just above the other knee. And then just allow yourself here, your hips to square out. That knee will want to kind of, it might not want to drop, but maybe just get it tight in your glutes. We did loads on those glutes earlier in our squats and firing them in our calf raises. So you can either push away that knee and then hold on to the foot. That's quite a nice way of getting some length there from the lower back to the glute. So holding onto the foot and push away the knee. Taking some deep breaths. And then allow that foot just to drop over to the side. So we're working with a stretch and kind of like a twist in the body. So let that foot drop down. And if you want, you can kind of let the other arm go out to the side, like your T-shape, and you get your chest stretch in there. Your spine twist. Again, just take some deep breaths there, filling up the chest. Nice kind of hip stretch, that one. Bringing that up to center, then we're going to do those 3 stretches on the other side. So we started with the hamstring. So straighten that leg. Want to know what you can get hold of, whether you're here on the hamstring or maybe you're higher. Maybe take some circles just for the ankle and little stretches on the feet. Push away the back of the knee. Check that chin's not coming up towards the ceiling. So we're keeping that length at the back of the neck. Taking some deep breaths. Think about your hips as well. Like just check your hips are square. You're not kind of shifting on your hips just to grab hold of a certain part of your leg or something like that. Then we went to that glute stretch, so take that foot on the top of the other knee. Just holding in there, and then if you push away the bent knee that's going out to the side, you push in gently into that, but hold on to the other foot. And then try and keep your hips square. Don't let your hips tilt around on that. Trying to keep your lower back in touch with the mat, nice and straight. It's not wiggling, tilting. And deep breaths, just filling out the chest. And then allow that foot to drop over for that really nice hip mobility work. That's one of my favourites, that one. And then you can just really open out with the chest as well, looking in the other direction even as well, if you want to. You can keep holding onto the foot. Send the breath here right into that chest. Really filling out the rib cage. Slowly coming out then. Come and rock into a little ball. So if you can bring your ball right up to the seated position, we're going to do a few little rollbacks and then we'll go into the roll down. So hover, take your feet off. If you're not comfortable with that, just go with your C shape, draw up to your S shape. So if you're not 100% in your back, C shape, S shape with the spine. Otherwise, hold on to the shins, rock yourself back, come back up to your hover. So just pulling in that pelvic floor at the end. Rock back. Try and stay that nice C shape all the way back up. So if you can get each vertebrae in touch with the mat as well. So you're not missing the lower back. Keep nicely tucked up. I can see some people smiling. Brilliant. 2 more. Lower back. Try and get it to roll up the mat. It's like a massage, isn't it? Last one. Rock back. Okay, straightening out the legs then. Breathing in, lift the arms up towards the ceiling. Breathing out, circle the arms down and around, touch the toes. This is a bit like we did in the warm-up. We did this one standing up, the roll down almost. Then lift, and then we're just going to go halfway. So we're going to tease ourselves. Keep the heels down. Then lift it up. Then circle it around, just touch. And lifting up, get nice and tall in the spine as you lift. Then C-shape it, halfway down for a little bit of a tease. Then lifting it back up. Keep those feet flexed. I don't know if you can see in the light, but my feet are really flexed there. Almost like the backs of my knees aren't touching the mat. The hamstrings are nicely tight. Halfway. Drawing back up. Forwards. Nice release in the hamstring. So if you've got the space, you need a space behind you, all the way down. Into the full body stretch, then come yourself all the way back up, circle it around, lifting up and out. Thanks, Joe, are you off? I can see. Drawing up. And then extend, really stretch right into your full body stretching. Lifting back up. As you come up, see if you can get your arms around your ears here. Thanks, Joe. I'm losing my Nike twin. Let's go pick up Ollie from swimming. Circle it around. Last one. Lifting up. Keep those feet flexed. Keep the tension in the hamstrings. Reach. Last one down. And reach. Circle it. Up. And release. Brilliant. Okay, facing this way. Find a comfortable position. You can always grab a cushion there if you want to. Got a spine twist, so try and get nice and upright to begin with. Lift up the chest, shoulders back, palms together. Index finger, I was say middle finger. Index finger underneath the chin. Get the length at the back of the neck. Thumbs into sternum. Breathe in, get tall. Breathing out, just twisting to look across one of your knees. Breathing in, get tall. Quite small movements here. Should feel it on those long strands of muscles either side of the spine. Breathing in, 1 centimeter taller. Breathing out, twist. Chris, I do wonder, Chris, maybe you could start to sit on something. Just the way your knees are up here like that makes me wonder if it's tight in the back. Maybe if you can sit on to get the twist. I said I'd watch you all a bit more today, didn't I? Two more. Breathing out into these twists. Breathing in at the center, get tall, length at the back of the neck. Back at center, one hand on the tummy, one hand on the chest. Send the breath into the tummy and release. Fill out the tummy and release. Big deep breaths, these ones. Filling out the tummy, breathe in through the nose. Breathe out through the nose. Fill out the tummy, fill out the rib cage and release. Thinking about that, breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Adding in then, fill out the tummy, fill out the rib cage. Now fill out the chest. So we're kind of working, extending the breath up as we fill. 2 more. Belly, rib cage, chest. Maybe you even feel like you're getting taller as you breathe in. These are the yogic breaths. Last one. Tummy, rib cage, chest, and release. Really good for calming the nervous system, that. Ever feeling anxious or anything like that, go to those yogic breaths. Totally calms everything down. Namaste. Thank you very much.